What's up, guys? Happy 2020. This is video 12, I believe. And I did not hop on this morning after my meditation, which is when I usually do hop on, but I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. So I kind of wanted to give myself the day to clear my mind a little bit more and wake up, to be honest. So I made a Facebook post where I wrote a little bit about my intention for 2020, and I boiled it down to two main values that I want to live by, which are courage and love. I know those can seem incredibly generalized and not as clear and concise as most people's goals or resolutions are. But the reason I am determined to focus on values instead of goals that have a specific end point is because goals such as these, we'll call them spiritual goals or infinite goals, as I saw described in an article, is so these goals are something that can literally be worked on for life. And from my personal viewpoint, at least where I'm at now, these two values can literally help me blossom and grow and step into my power as a person. They can help me change my life and grow, and then they can help everyone around me who I come in contact with grow. And that's really my goal as I approach as the new decade begins, I should say. And it's cool for me because I turned 30 in May, but it almost feels like basically this is the start of my 30s. So everything is kind of aligning right now to make everything a fresh start in a way, at least to the rational mind. It's like a nice, clear number. So I could start with a new decade, start fresh, and have a new intention. So courage and love, those are the two values I want to live by. And the amazing thing about just choosing to focus on values instead of goals. So let's compare if my goal was to go to the gym to get in better shape or to run a marathon. And not that I'm knocking these goals because those are worthy goals. But let's say I decided to run a marathon. So I'm going to go through the training. I'm obviously going to push myself. I'm going to grow a ton as a person, physically, mentally, spiritually. I would run the marathon, or at least do my best to run the marathon, and then it would be over. And I would still be left with, maybe a space where I would have to think of a new goal. The article I read that talked about spiritual goals or infinite goals would call something like running the marathon, he would call this a material goal. And the reason they're just not necessarily as resourceful is because of what I just mentioned, because they have an endpoint. So you reach a goal, you have an endpoint, you finish it, and then that's it. And the cool thing about spiritual goals, like in my case, I'm choosing courage and love, is it's really a never-ending process. So my goal is to cultivate these two values as much as possible for this year and going forward. I'll reassess as needed, but these values can be exercised in every single moment, every single situation, every day, every month, every year. They can dictate my decisions, and I'm making this choice from a very clear headspace. Excuse me. I think the values of courage and love go hand in hand because I do think that love is the highest ideal that we can all have as human beings. And love is such a weighted word. It's been used in so many contexts, and I think people mean so many different things by it. But the way I am thinking of it is complete unconditional love, where I am acting as a vessel of giving and generosity and love. I'm giving what I have inside me to those around me. It can be as a teacher to student. It can be partner to partner. It can be son to father, son to mother, brother to sister, friend to friend, etc. Any type of a relationship, I think, can be built on the foundations of love, which means I'm a complete person. I've cultivated enough love within myself. I'm not asking for anything from you. I'm just coming from a place of fully accepting you for who you are and giving you what I can, shining my light upon you. So that's it. That's how I view love, at least in this context, at this time in my life. And then courage comes in because we need courage to exercise love. I saw a great quote today that said, "It's easy to hate. The much harder thing to do is to love." And hate seems to be kind of the lowest common denominator. As when it comes to being a human being, it seems to be our lowest level of consciousness. It's so simple to judge and label and separate and put someone down. And it requires work and effort and intense working on yourself to get out of that headspace and move up to a higher level of thinking. And unfortunately, so much of our world is permeated with this lower level thinking of hate and judgment and tribalism and right versus wrong and very, dualistic thinking. So with courage allows me personally to step into my power and truly wield the power that I have and use it in the service of others. And I know it's not going to be easy, but courage is doing things that make you uncomfortable, but knowing deep down that they're the right things to do. So my year and going forward is going to be focused on what deep in my soul do I need to do to grow, because I know it's going to be the best for me and I know it's going to be the best for those around me. It's going to be a win-win. So, it'll be small things. It'll literally come down to the day-to-day. Like some days I'm going to wake up and I'm not going to want to meditate. I'm going to want to run away from what I'm feeling. I'm going to want to use my favorite coping device. I'm going to want to watch TV and veg out or play video games. And sometimes courage is something as small as saying, you know what, I'm going to do the thing that might feel harder in the moment, but I know it's the right thing to do. Or I'm going to speak up when someone says something I don't agree with instead of biting my tongue. I'm going to have the difficult conversations with my friends or family members. When the urge pops up to do something, no longer am I going to repress that or push it down. I'm gonna find the courage to speak up, because so often courage is moral courage in our society. It's not grabbing a sword and charging into battle, as romantic as many movies have made that seem. So yeah, my headspace is still a little foggy because I'm feeling under the weather, but courage and love, those two values, I know if I cultivate those and access those those abilities and values that I have inside me, and I make that a focus this year, I know amazing things will happen. And I'm just so committed right now to doing that. So I would ask anyone who's watching this or who read my post to think about what spiritual values you can live by. You might have a goal like getting a new job or getting a new house or whatever, getting a new boyfriend or girlfriend. But what are some spiritual goals you could have? What do you want to cultivate more of this year? What habits do you have that you want to double down on or add on to? So like I said, mine are courage and love. I'm going to do a lot of things that challenge me this year, and I'm going to share some videos on those activities. I started with that boxing class that I mentioned. I'm going to be doing Toastmasters on Monday. it's just, I'm just done playing small, and it's time to get after it. And I know we all feel that calling in our soul to do something bigger than what we're doing. And I would love for you guys to pick up your swords and join me. Have a fantastic 2020. I would love to speak to any of you guys with, if this resonated with you. So, peace out. Much love.